The Virginia Horse Industry Board and the Virginia Christmas Tree Growers Association are proud sponsors of Virginia farming.
This program's brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Large or small, Virginia farmers work year-round to help put food on your table. And Farm Bureau works year-round to help farmers and all Virginians. Farming, it's all good. To learn more, go to vafarmbureau.org.
Hi everybody, welcome to Virginia Farming. I'm Amy Rocher. Today we're taking a look at the poultry industry. Poultry is Virginia's largest commodity, and it's Rockingham County that was once known as the turkey capital of the world. In fact, today's modern poultry practices of using brooder houses instead of a free range was started by R.B. Strickler and Charles Wampler Sr. of Harrisonburg. We were given the unique opportunity to see the poultry production process from start to finish, and today we share that with you. Then Chris Mullins shares tips on growing hearty mums from the ground up. And of course, we'll have the Minute in the Field video. All coming up on this edition of Virginia Farming. The modern production of eggs, chickens, and turkeys in Rockingham County grew from the curiosity, ingenuity, and business savvy of feed company owners R.B. Strickler and Charles W. Wampler Sr. Charles W. Wampler Sr. was the first to hatch a turkey in an incubator, earning him note as the father of the turkey industry. Now, despite a lack of interest and naysayers, both Strickler and Wampler started raising poultry in confinement and had contracts with poultry growers to enhance their feed business, which was a new concept at the time. They became among the first to offer poultry farmers a contract to grow birds for them, extending credit for the feed and some startup costs. The birds were then sold to live haulers who took them to city markets. Over the decades, the Strickler and Wampler families observed trends and adopted new methods when business demanded it, and helped advance the industry into the modern era, freely sharing their innovation locally and nationally. Fun fact: in the 1930s, when Charles W. Wampler Sr. went to the bank to get a loan to grow his turkey business, the bank turned him down because they didn't see any future in turkeys. 10 years later, he not only had a thriving turkey operation, but had become president of that bank. In its earliest days, FarmWise worked to ensure their egg supply, noting which feed combinations produce the healthiest, most productive birds, and then breeding them for even better egg production. As scientific knowledge spread from land-grant colleges like Virginia Tech through the County Extension Service, farmers adopted modern production methods to increase production of both eggs and chickens.
I have been in the poultry industry about 25 years, and when I graduated from Virginia Tech, I needed something to come back to, and I looked around, and poultry seemed to be the most viable option to get into. You don't have to have a whole lot of land to put up poultry houses. It's about 10 acres. That's about all that you need. I've always lived on a farm. I was on a dairy farm and then a hog farm, beef farm, so it kind of fit right in with that.
Well, basically, I was raised here on the poultry farm. My grandfather was raising turkeys, and I just followed along beside my dad. I just fell into it. Well, it's really my one true passion. It's the only thing I really enjoy doing. I like being my own boss, and I enjoy being with the animals and working on the land.
Well, my grandfather moved here from West Virginia, and he started poultry farming. And then my father came alongside of him, and then when I was born, I stepped alongside of my father, and now these boys are coming alongside.
My father came here in the 60s.
From West Virginia?
From West Virginia with his father. Sharon and I bought our first farm in '79.
This is actually, July will be the 28th year that I've been raising turkeys. I was in education for 4 years, and in 1988 I actually started full-time here, but our first house was built in '86. We were a little bit limited here on land. There's only 81 acres here on this farm, so poultry was just a nice fit. Kind of goes back to my dad and the early generations when they used to range turkeys the hard way. They didn't have near the numbers, but it was really hard work. And I guess the bottom line is I love agriculture, and I certainly chose a lifestyle that is tough, especially financially. I mean, it's we have a lot of assets, I guess you would say, but cash flow is not like a 9-to-5 job. But it's something that I can honestly say every morning when I get up, I enjoy what I do.
This is a breeder house. The roosters fertilize the eggs inside the hens. Later, the hens hop up on the platform and go into a nest where they lay the eggs. The fertilized eggs are sorted and placed in trays for pickup. There are 2 million eggs delivered to this hatchery every week, and this is one of 8 hatcheries in Virginia. The eggs we buy at the grocery store are not fertilized and are produced by laying hens. The eggs in these hatcheries are fertilized eggs that will hatch into broiler chickens to be processed for meat. 2 days after arriving, the eggs are moved into incubators, where they stay for 19 days. The eggs are rotated 45 degrees every hour, much like a hen would move them in a farm setting. Rotating the eggs keeps the embryo from sticking to the side of the shell. And after 19 days, the eggs are moved to the hatching room. 21 days after arriving, the baby chicks hatch. Machines help separate the chicks from the shells. The chicks are then counted, boxed, and readied for delivery to a farm. Pioneers like the Stricklers and Wamplers figured out how to raise poultry year-round and set the stage for the industry to take on modern, more efficient methods. This meant selective breeding, careful feeding, and raising the birds in big poultry houses with carefully controlled lighting and ventilation, as well as maintaining scrupulous sanitation to protect the birds and consumers from disease. The birds responded to growing bigger and meatier with every decade. Chickens stay at the farm for 35 or 48 days until they weigh 3.8 or 6.25 pounds. Female turkeys or hens stay at the farm for 130 days until they weigh 28.5 pounds. Male turkeys or toms stay at the farm for 130 days until they weigh 40 pounds. Now, if a bird gets sick, veterinarians might use antibiotics to protect the bird and the flock, but the medication does not pass through the meat or egg. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration closely monitors the types of drugs used, and the poultry industry knows how important it is to keep flocks and consumers healthy, having experienced times when illness has wiped out entire flocks and closed markets for their products. $125 tons of corn and soy are delivered to this feed mill every week. This is one of 6 feed mills in Virginia. Poultry feed consists of 85% corn and soy. The other 15% is made up of dried distiller's grain, bakery meal, poultry meal, vitamins, and minerals. The raw ingredients are received, then they are mixed into specific portions. Steam is added to gelatinized starches and form pellets. The pellets are dried and cooled and are ready for storage. Now, 4 types of feed are made. Starter feed is high in protein and packed with nutrients. The pellets are crumbled so that day-old chicks can eat it. Grower feed is lower in protein but higher in energy to promote growth. Finisher feed is high in energy to add weight quickly. And the withdrawal feed is the final feed before being sent to market, and it contains no additives. When a poultry farm needs feed, empty trucks arrive at the feed mill. Each truck has 4 compartments, and each compartment is filled with a separate order for individual farms. 300 truckloads of feed are delivered from this mill every week. Fun fact, beginning in the 1930s, a breed of small white turkeys, Beltsville Whites, was developed, and consumers began to want turkeys with white pin feathers to avoid having dark marks in the turkey's skin when the feathers were removed. In 1939, a turkey breeder in California introduced the first white-feathered, broad-breasted turkey, which led the commercial turkey industry to breed out the bronze turkey in favor of the white to meet consumer preference for color and size. In 2012, Virginia farmers produced 240,500,000 broiler chickens and 17 million turkeys. The poultry is always treated humanely. The birds are euthanized by severing the jugular vein and carotid artery. The birds are then washed and feathers are removed. The feet are removed, and they are also processed. Did you know chicken feet are considered a delicacy in some countries? Then the internal organs are removed, and everything is inspected by the USDA. Now, some are processed as whole chickens, like the rotisserie chickens you find in a store. The majority of turkeys are processed as whole birds. Most chicken is cut into pieces for packaging. The chicken parts for some restaurants are cut using a laser to ensure uniform pieces. The chicken is packaged and kept cold. And finally, the chickens and turkeys are boxed for freezing and shipping. The amazing changes in egg production and in the size of chickens and turkeys over the years are due to scientific advances, not hormones. Hens lay more eggs and birds grow meatier because of genetics, nutrition, and careful tending. Science has even helped birds grow faster on less feed and produce less waste. Fun fact, in 1964, fiery hot wings were first served in a bar in Buffalo, New York. By the early 1980s, consumer demand for the boneless, skinless chicken breast meant wings had become a byproduct that bars and restaurants could get very cheaply. Offering spicy buffalo wings, their profits improved as patrons drowned the wings' fire. Because buffalo wings have become popular, the wholesale price of whole wings is now the third highest priced part of the chicken. The laboratory conducts testing for microbiologics as well as elemental tests. Approximately 150 samples are analyzed each month to ensure the product surpasses regulatory requirements. The testing looks for bacteria identified by the USDA as the most common bacteria present in poultry, including Salmonella and E. coli. Now, testing is not only conducted on products sent to the consumers, but also water used in the facility. Water testing is conducted to ensure facilities are providing water that meets all regulatory standards in the production areas. Approximately 50 samples of water are tested each month. The lab also does total plate count samples every morning to ensure the production equipment is sanitary.
Probably technology is the biggest change that I've seen. Everything in the houses are computerized now. It's not as hands-on as it used to be. That's probably the biggest change that I've seen.
Does that make it easier on you?
It makes it a lot easier on us, yeah. I mean, if there's a problem, we get a phone call on our phone and you can come running over here and see what's going on.
Probably as early as 10 years ago, it was taking us about 114 days to get turkeys to 15.5 to 16 pounds, and now we're doing it in 86 to 90 days. And no hormones, nothing like that, like sometimes the public thinks that we pump these animals up with growth stimulants. It's just good genetics and good feed.
It's a process of selection and breeding. I mean, you take the desirable traits, of a tom and a hen, and you breed those two together, and it takes years to do that. And you finally get the bird that you want.
Today's houses are completely computerized from feed, water, air, heat, and lights. Computerized is the biggest change of growing birds in the industry.
We've had computers for 10 to 12 past years, somewhere in that time frame. So that's really taken a lot of the guesswork out of it.
The biggest change I've seen is by far the technology. When I was a young boy in the buildings, we didn't have the computer systems all the automation that is in the buildings today. None of that was there. It was mostly all manual labor and work. And today, labor is really the minimal part of it.
It's a different world from 40 years ago.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure it's going to continue to change.
Fun fact. Today, poultry growers are also using automation, computer monitoring, and even smartphone apps to help them keep their birds as happy and healthy as possible while reducing disease, waste, and cost. This technology helps alert them to issues that may arise in the poultry house, make adjustments to ventilation, and even help keep track of how the commodities markets are performing, all of which makes for more successful poultry operations. With mounting pressures on food production and heightened concern for our air, land, and waters, the poultry industry remains vigilant in their efforts to protect the environment. From reducing and reusing poultry litter in the most responsible ways, to supporting environmental programs, research on nutritional issues, and investing millions in wastewater treatment upgrades. Poultry growers are also doing their part. One farm family in particular has been singled out for their environmental stewardship. Craig and Nancy Miller have received U.S. Poultry's Family Farm Environmental Excellence Award, as well as several other similar awards over the past decade.
We had a bad erosion problem on our driveway, and Cargill installed, through some grants, we put in a storm drain that catches about 30% of our rainwater off our houses. Our houses are 50 by 800 feet, so that's a lot of roof space. That water travels underground in a 24-inch pipe that's 440 feet long to a sediment pond, which I've stocked with fish. We fenced off our streams, planted a lot of trees, and now I'm like obsessed with it, because each year we built a new feeding facility for our cattle through cost share programs. I'm in the process of planting some more trees because we need more trees on this farm, and I've just kind of become obsessed with some of the environmental stuff and making sure that future generations, have something they can really be proud of.
We are required to have a nutrient management plan. They want to know where all your litter goes. They want to track it, and so we have that. But all my litter is transferred off the farm. We don't apply anything here on the farm. We're so close to the Shenandoah River, and our soil tests have indicated we have a high phosphorus level, so we can't put it down anyway. So we put commercial nitrogen on the fields, and we sell all the litter, and it's a pretty good market for it. So there's people out of the Chesapeake Bay watershed that would love to have our litter because it's a whole lot cheaper than commercial fertilizer.
The poultry industry provides a way of life for more than 1,100 Virginia families and has far-reaching effects for our Commonwealth. Poultry has a $3.6 billion direct economic impact in Virginia and an indirect contribution of $8 billion. Additionally, more than $800 million in local, state, and federal taxes come from the industry and its people. With jobs in supplying and servicing the industry factored in, poultry provides 41,000 jobs for Virginians. Embracing innovation and using common sense, Rockingham County's poultry growers have been leaders in the U.S. poultry industry for decades. Seeing a need and figuring out a way to fill it has been commonplace, and when the community needed to pitch in for the good of the industry, competition didn't get in the way. Whether through cooperatives or big corporations, Virginia poultry operations feed the world. Mums are a fall favorite, and they're easy to care for too. With tips on growing mums from the ground up, here's Chris Mullins.
Hi, welcome. Today we're in Sussex County, Virginia. We're at Pine View Greenhouses. They grow mums, obviously. Look at all these beautiful garden mums that are out here today, all kinds of different colors. We've got this nice kind of a burnt orange here, red, yellow. Yellow is one of the most popular. People love that one. Some really beautiful colors here. And people love mums. In the fall, they're one of the few plants that are blooming out there during September and October. Just a really nice plant to put in the fall garden to make a decorative display with pumpkins and straw. And what we're talking about here are hardy garden mums, not the florist chrysanthemums that you see. These are a little bit different. These will do very well in most of the climates in Virginia. And people will buy these in these beautiful decorative pots that you see here, just like this. They're not terribly expensive. You'll find them at just about any garden center. Really nice, and they look nice, and then you put them on your patio, on your deck, on your front porch. And some of the care and tips that you might do with these is they need a lot of water. You can imagine when they've been growing out here at the farmer's field, they give them water every day, and they're in a soilless type media, so as you have these on your deck or your patio, you want to continue that practice. You want to water these just about every day as you're going into the fall. You might cut back a little bit. And in terms of fertilizer, they don't need a whole lot. Sometimes the grower will have put some slow release fertilizer in here, and as they're blooming anyway, they don't need a lot of fertilizer. So if you grab these in a pot like this, put them on your deck, they don't need a lot of maintenance, a lot of care, and they'll bloom for you throughout the growing season. But there's some other things that you can do with these if you buy them and want to take them home and maybe put them in the garden. Let's talk about that next. These mums are in a little bit different pot, a little bit smaller too, than the mums we just looked at. Less decorative pot. This would be something you'd maybe buy in early fall and put in the ground. And they'll do well in Virginia in the ground. They'll probably even overwinter for you. And so the process you'd go through, you'd take this, find a nice well-drained location and put this in the ground. For the first couple weeks, you want to water it pretty heavily, make sure that it gets established very well. And you'll have beautiful blooms throughout the fall. Now, in terms of fertilization, doesn't need much, just like the larger pots. But as this blooms throughout the fall, it'll start to kind of die back, and then when it freezes, you'll notice all the plant will kind of die back and look brown. I would leave all that plant material around the plant. It'll kind of give it some protection through the winter time. Now then in the springtime, probably sometime in May, you'll start to see some shoots coming up out of the ground. Then you can go ahead and clean that area up around from last year's plant, kind of cut all that out of there. As those shoots come up, you know, they're going to be probably nice green shoots that'll come right up out of the ground in the springtime. They're going to the plant will start coming up and not be round necessarily like this, but it'll probably be single shoots, a few of them coming up. And what you can do is you can go ahead and pinch that back or cut that back. If you take and cut about half that stem back of each of the stems that are coming up, what that'll do is it'll cause the plant to branch out and make itself more round like this here. Otherwise, it'll get more tall and leggy, and they'll tend to flop over when they bloom. So a couple of these pinches through the summer, maybe the last pinch by the 4th of July, and that'll also help to delay flowering until the fall when you want it. In the springtime, you can also find mum transplants that you can put in the ground, and they'll flower for you at the same time in the fall. So you don't just have to look at the fall to buy those and put them in the ground. But either way, mums can be a great plant to go in the landscape or around the house. For more information about mums and how to care for them, please contact your local county extension office and talk to your master gardener. From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.
That does it for our show. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great week. I'm Amy Rocher for Virginia Farming.
This program's brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. From apples to zucchini, Virginia farmers work hard to put food on your table. And Farm Bureau works year-round to help farmers and all Virginians. Farming, it's all good. To learn more, go to vafarmbureau.org.